Welcome to Liquidity and Liquor. This is Yosef Martin with Scott DeClary, and today we're going to be talking about scarcity and how to capitalize on that. And I'm going to pick something from Alex Hermosi, where he made a short video where he spoke about how luxury brands were making a fortune because the situation of COVID caused them to leave people outside and have only 2 or 3 at a time in the store. So there were huge lines. And when COVID ended, and they were able to open it up, they kept it because they noticed that whoever does walk inside the store feel they have to already buy because you're already committed. You have to wait so long. Now you have to buy something. So they continue that strategy, and that's why you still see scarcity on certain luxury products. So in my case, I can tell you where when we ran BoxyCharm around 2017, we came into a point that a lot of big brands started rolling in our program, and we had major products, iconic products coming into the box. Now, if you're into makeup, you'll understand that if I give you something that you already have a perceived notion of what the value of that product is, and one item worth double the amount of the box, and you have 4 more items, everyone wanted to buy it, right? I think it was a champagne pop that was in our box, and some other, it's a highlighter that was the number 1 highlighter at the time, and so on. We had so many products that were just iconic coming in. Now, you have to build a box about 8 months out, 8 months to a year out. It takes a while to manufacture the product. So when that happened, we had so many people rolling into our program, we had to put a wait list. Now, the way we did the wait list was, we said, well, we didn't tell you there is a wait list. We just let you subscribe. You put the credit card, you did everything. We said, at the end, on the thank you page, we would say, thank you for joining our waitlist. We're going to let you know whenever your turn is up, and we're going to run your card. You don't have to do anything. Now, because it was a real waitlist, some people had to wait 4 months because it's just not enough. And I mean, they got really mad, but eventually, for months and months after, we kept the wait list because we didn't need a wait list after that, because we caught up with the demand very quickly, but we had to keep the wait list because at that point, anyone that came on our website and subscribed and stayed with us did not want to cancel. Our retention rate was in the sky because they did not want to go back to be on a wait list. So they said, even if I didn't like this box in the next month and the next month, I'm still going to stay. Now, bear in mind, we did everything we can to make sure you're going to love the box, but whatever it was. So our retention just stayed so solid for so long.
Because you gated access through a wait list.
Yeah. And we just add the wait list, and we said, there's a wait list, and what we would do is we gave you reasons to skip the wait list, which everyone were using it, and we said, follow us here, do this, do that, and people would do everything because you would already be so invested. You put the credit card, you put your personal information, all that good stuff. And now it tells you if you want to skip the wait list, because at that time I didn't have any wait list, and then just do those steps. And then you knew that you have to make those steps in order to do it. Now, if you didn't do it, I would still, a couple of days later, I would roll you out, but people just didn't want to get into a wait list again. They thought there is a line, and they said, no matter what, I don't want to get in that line. Mm-hmm. And that helped retention. So that was a very, very instrumental way to keep retention. And I would always encourage anyone that has any recurring revenue product that they sell, physical product, to consider a strategy where it makes sense to have a wait list.
A couple comments on that and a couple of thoughts, because that's a really interesting strategy. And I've seen wait lists used in a variety of different ways to varying degrees of effectiveness. So one strategy that I've seen used, and I think you've done this as well, you just spoke about the wait list, but you didn't speak about all the other actions that you get people to do. So I see a lot of software companies, before they launch, they put together a wait list, a landing page, and they'll say, to move your spot up on the wait list, you got to share this on Twitter or invite a friend, or here's your code. And if somebody else signs up, then you get moved up in the line. Mm-hmm. That's okay. But I think that you feel like you've done that a few times. Like people that have tried out new software or gone for a new launch of a product, they've done that. The one thing I think that you did that I don't even think people understand the power of what you did was that you asked for their credit card so that they were financially committed to the product that they're buying. Because I've done wait lists, and I can tell you that if I'm not financially committed, I actually stop caring about the product by the time it launches.
Yeah.
You know who else did this really well? Elon Musk. So Elon Musk, he has a wait list for the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And I think it was $50 or what was it?
No, it was $100,
But there's
or
financial.
$250, and then he did the same, by the way, with the truck, and it was 15 grand with the truck, because you don't have to need to drive an 18-wheeler. You just need to buy it and then sell it, because you're gonna make money on it. Now, look, the part where you have a community behind this, where people know at first that the waitlist is real. It cascade over for a very long time, that sound, they echo that, the conversation on social media. Nobody wants to go back to waitlist, so it kind of blurs. It's great if you really have a waitlist, by the way. You need to go and have a phenomenal product, so you will create a real waitlist. And then when you do have that, when there's a day where you don't need that waitlist, don't. So while my competitors, some of them at least, were giving 20% off, 30% off, 40% off, I never gave any discount. In fact, I just kept the same thing going, and people, whoever came, I think it was close to 2 years at the time, where people didn't want. I mean, there were people that stayed with us for years and years and years, but mostly it's because they liked the product. But they said, you know what, the product is good. Maybe not everything is a winner box for me, but I would never want to go back into a waitlist.
And you create that scarcity.
And because they heard on social media for many months that it was a real thing, they didn't think that, well, maybe now it's not. So.
But good product is key, because if you think about Nelk Boys merch drops, like time bound, only limited supply merch. That's a wait list. And
all the time.
It's just another wait list. And if you don't have a good product, though, it's going to fail, because no one's waiting around for a shitty product. You need to
create a conversation all the time, and we can talk about this in another way. But if you talk about Yeezy, and I don't like to mention Kanye because I'm Jewish, but he did something great in marketing, where he would go and throw some hint somewhere about Yeezy, and then eventually he would go and put the location up, Scarcity, and he started small quantities, and then he kept ramping it up. It wasn't anything new, but with someone with that awareness and someone with that power, he can go and make it happen. So,
all right, okay, that's it for today. If you enjoyed, please subscribe on YouTube. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can download and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts, or on liquidityandliquor.com.